let's dive into one of the most fundamental yet seriously powerful tools in all of technical SEO. We're talking about the very first conversation your website ever has with Google, and the cool part is you get to control exactly what's said.
So just think about this for a second. You've got these massive, automated programs, bots, crawling the internet 24/7, visiting millions and millions of pages every single second. So how on earth do you, as just one website owner, tell these things where they can and cannot go on your site?
You guessed it, that's the crazy part. It all comes down to one single plain text file. That's it. No complicated code, no fancy software. Just a few lines of text that act as the command center for your entire website. I want you to imagine your website is like an exclusive club, right? You've got the main floor where everyone can hang out, but then you've got the back rooms. You know, the manager's office, the kitchen, the staff-only areas. You wouldn't want random guests just wandering in there. You need a bouncer, a gatekeeper, at the door.
Well, in this case, those guests are the crawlers. You'll hear them called robots, spiders, or just bots. Search engines like Google send them out to follow every single link they can find, read the content, and then save a copy into this gigantic digital library, which we call an index. And that index is what Google actually searches when you go looking for something.
Okay, so if the crawlers are our guests, how do we hand them the house rules? Well, that's where our gatekeeper file comes into play. This is the tool that lets us boss those bots around.
It's called the robots.txt file. And it's literally just a text file. It's the very first thing a bot looks for when it shows up at your website. It's like it's reading the welcome mat to get its marching orders before it even thinks about taking a step inside. So why even bother with this? Well, a few huge reasons. First off, privacy. You absolutely do not want Google to index, say, your admin login page or a customer's private shopping cart. Second, it's about efficiency. Bots only have a limited amount of time to spend on your site. We call that a crawl budget. You want to make sure they spend that time on your most important content, not wasting it on junk pages. And finally, it helps you avoid sticky situations with duplicate content by just telling bots to ignore pages that are basically the same thing with different filters.
All right, so let's peek under the hood. The language of robots.txt is incredibly simple. It's really just built on a couple of key commands. And once you know them, you can look at any robots.txt file in the world and know exactly what's going on.
First up is user agent. This is basically you pointing a finger and saying, hey, you, I'm talking to you. You can get specific like Googlebot for Google or Bingbot for Bing. But honestly, most of the time, you'll just use an asterisk, a little star, which is a wildcard that just means, hey, this rule applies to every bot that comes knocking.
And the second most important command is disallow. This is your digital do not enter sign. Whatever URL path you type after disallow, you are telling that user agent you are not allowed to go here, period.
And this is where you see how insanely powerful and, frankly, a little dangerous this simple file can be. Look at the left. Disallow/admin/ just blocks that one folder, no big deal. But on the right, disallow/. Whoa, that single / tells every bot to stay off your entire website. A tiny typo can literally make you invisible to the entire world of search. Now check this out. This isn't some textbook example. This is a real snippet, live from Amazon's actual robots.txt file. They're specifically calling out GPTbot, that's the web crawler for OpenAI, the folks who make ChatGPT, and they're telling it to stay out completely. That / means don't touch a single thing. So why would a giant like Amazon do that? Simple. They're protecting their golden goose, their data. They do not want their massive, invaluable library of product listings, pricing data, and millions of customer reviews getting vacuumed up to train AI models like ChatGPT. It is a massive strategic play to control their own information in this new age of AI. So what's the best part about all this? It is so easy to create your own file. You do not need to be a developer. I promise. If you can write a text message, you can write a robots.txt file. Seriously, this is it. You just open up a plain old text editor. You start by saying who the rules are for, usually everyone, so user agent star. Then you just list out any folders or pages you want to block, like maybe your shopping cart page. You save the file with the exact name robots.txt, and you upload it to the main or root folder of your website. And that's it. You're done. Okay, so we've established it's simple to make. But let's just take a step back and really appreciate why this one tiny little file carries so much weight in the grand scheme of things. I think this is the best way to put it.
Your robots.txt file is the very first handshake between your website and a search engine. It establishes the rules of engagement right from the start. A good, clear handshake builds trust. A bad one, or a confusing one, well, that could get you completely ignored.
And never forget the sheer scale we're dealing with here. With literally millions of pages being crawled every single second, your little robots.txt file acts like a lighthouse in a stormy, chaotic sea of data. It provides those clear, simple directions to make sure the bots navigate your site the right way.
And really, that's what this all boils down to. You now understand the basic language of the robots. You have the power to guide them, to protect your site, and to make sure they're focused on what truly matters. So the only real question left is, what are you going to tell them to do?